Hi, this is Keith Weaver with the Top Executive Strategy Podcast, where CEOs, COOs, and business owners share strategies for success. This is 6 questions in 9 minutes because the best strategies are concise business advice. And we're going to get right to our guest today with question number 1. In a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
Well, my name is Lenny Gray. I am the CEO of Doortodoor Millionaire, author of Doortodoor Millionaire, Secrets of Making the Sale, CEO of Rove Pest Control as well, and been in the door-to-door industry since the late 90s when I was knocking doors as a poor college student trying to make tuition.
Lots of experience and an area that I think is often overlooked these days with technology and everything else. So it's great having you on.
Thank you.
So question number 2, what's the best thing about being a business leader?
I think just seeing people change. I had, my mind goes back to an experience we had with one of the guys that started working for us when we first started our own pest control company. And, he was living in a trailer, parked the trailer in his parents' driveway at their house and literally had next to nothing. And by the time he had sold his company that he started with us, he was doing very well for himself. So I just think, things like that, seeing the impact and the change that you can have on people's lives is super motivating and exciting for me.
That's really cool. All right. Question number 3. I hear from other business leaders that their people strategy can be more complex than the actual people or business strategy in their business. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, people are what make the machine work. And as much as, you can read a lot of books, listen to a lot of podcasts, you can do a lot of things. At the end of the day, everybody's an individual and everybody has different set of motivation. Sometimes you get business leaders that are just so focused on just money and paying people the best and those types of things that they actually forget that there's people behind there that may not be super motivated by just monetary reasons to work for somebody. Maybe they're looking for relationships or they're looking for just to fulfill like a competitive drive that they have within themselves to be the top sales guy or, top person in the office, top technician, whatever it is. So I don't know. I think when you understand the people in your company more so than you try to just make it all one size fits all, I think you start to make connections with people and that's where you get that longevity and people wanting to stay with you.
Well said. As you were talking, I was thinking about, that common phrase where people say, I feel like a number kind of a thing.
Yep.
Because, you don't take into account the person or the people side of things.
For
All
sure.
right. Question number 4. What strategy would you like to share with business leaders today?
So I think most importantly, at least from the door-to-door space, as you can imagine, I get a lot of people in a lot of different industries that approach me saying, is door-to-door going to work for my company? Or how do I know how to employ a good door-to-door strategy? Even though door-to-door sales has been around for a long time, there's probably a lot of untapped industries that really haven't made the most out of it. I mean, if you think about it, I view door-to-door in my own companies as being, one leg on the chair. It's not the only strategy for growth that we employ, but it's one of several that together, that's how they become very powerful, is if those strategies work together for growth. And so the great thing is in door-to-door in my own company, we could have a year where we just don't do much in door-to-door. We're still going to grow because we've got these other strategies lined up. And so some people think, you've got to be all in on door-to-door and that's the only thing you do. And you got to forget your traditional marketing. You got to forget your SEO and those types of things. That's not the case at all. To me, to employ a really good door-to-door strategy, you have to have that mindset of this is a piece of our growth strategy. And so I would always advise even my own clients that I help and advise in their door-to-door plans. I would advise them to start slowly into the door-to-door industry and the door-to-door game. See what works. Make sure you have a process dialed in that isn't losing money, that's affordable. You'd be surprised how many people jump into door-to-door and they go out and hire a team and they're paying more than they realize they need to, and it actually ends up hurting their business rather than helping. So if you've got people that are knowledgeable in that space, make sure you're talking to people that have done door to door. Make sure you have a program lined out that's going to be effective for your industry. But I'm also convinced that you can sell anything door to door, whether it's something in the home service industry or just a myriad of other types of products and services out there. I mean, people used to sell encyclopedias door to door, for crying out loud. I can't imagine how difficult that was, carrying encyclopedias. But now there's just so many innovative ways to get your name out there, to brand your company, and also to directly contact that homeowner. Door to door can just be a super valuable way to kind of just be a rocket launcher for your company to experience growth that it hasn't experienced just with the traditional means and methods.
That's really cool. And, I don't want to take time away from you, but I know a friend of mine that does, he's B2B kind of thing, but he actually does door to door with businesses and has found success doing that. And so, whether it's B2C or B2B, like you said, it's not dead. It's a valuable area to be marketing and working on in your business as a part of that. That's those legs of the stool, as you said.
Yep.
So,
absolutely.
So question number 5, what other successful business owners, CEOs like yourself, would you like to acknowledge here or you think would be good on this podcast?
There's a lot. I work with a lot of great people, have relationships with a lot of great people. There's a gentleman in particular, his name's Tommy Mello with A1 Garage. He's amazing. He has taken a business, again, didn't inherit anything, a lot of people start these businesses from the ground up and then they're multi-million-dollar companies, and he's got a view to be $1 billion company, he wrote a book as well, The Home Service Millionaire, and it just kind of tells his story a little bit. He's great. A really good friend of mine in the pest control industry is Paul Gianamore. Paul Gianamore is on kind of the sales side representation of all mergers and acquisitions in the pest control space. For those interested in finding out more about just how to grow a company and to prepare it to sell as an acquisition, Paul's a great friend and a great resource to have as well. So.
Well, we will try to check them out, see if they're available, and see if we can glean some advice from them as well. So one final kind of fun question, number 6. Tell me about your favorite past boss.
My favorite past boss. Boy, I've owned my own company for so long.
I hear that a lot.
Yeah, it's I gotta really go back. I would say when I was in high school, I had a job at an HVAC place. I literally just folded tin all day, but I did it with my grandpa, and my grandpa was my boss. I think he taught me about work ethic. I worked for him or with him in the summer. Just the short time that I worked with my grandpa, by far that he would be my favorite boss. Just his example of working hard, and again, he was older. He was close to retirement at that point in time, but it didn't matter. He worked harder than anybody else in that shop. So that was inspiring to me.
And probably not easy on you. A lot of times family are more difficult on us than, as strangers. So that's a cool story. Thanks for sharing that, though.
Absolutely.
Well, it's great having you on today. Before we go, can you tell people how they can get a hold of you?
Yeah, so my email address is lennyg@d2dmillionaire.com. I've also got a website, lennygray.com. And of course, my book, Doortodoor Millionaire, Secrets of Making the Sale, can be purchased on my website. It's also available on Amazon. The audible version of the book seems to be really hot right now, especially for those that are in sales. And,
Again, thanks so much for being on. We appreciate it. And this is Keith Weaver with the Top Executive Strategy Podcast. For more insights, you can follow us at Weaver Business Coaching on LinkedIn or on your favorite podcast platform. And we wish you the best success.